The opinions expressed by tonight's guest do not represent the opinions or position of Spaced Out Radio, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with SOR Media. Listener discretion is advised. Here at Spaced Out Radio, we are about to take you higher. Broadcasting from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to you listening around the world. This is Spaced Out Sunday with host Tessa Nicole Thomas. You can follow Tessa on our Facebook page at Spaced Out Radio, on Twitter at TessaTNT, and you can subscribe to her YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio for the archive. But we break on command 'cause women rule the world. Buckle up, space travelers. Let the countdown begin.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's time to go for a ride with host Tessa Nicole Thomas.
I'm such a lucky guy, 'cause after all this time, it's like the deeper I go, the deeper I fall.
Good evening, Spaced Out Radio. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Patas on a Rocky Mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 419.9 in colorful Colorado. It is Sunday, June 24th, June 28th for those of you on the East Coast and beyond. This is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you guys had an awesome day and an even better evening, and I hope your week rocked. I am your host, Tessa Nicole Thomas, live from Bayfield here in beautiful Colorado. We are 150,000 strong nightly on SOR Radio Network, spacedoutradio.com, Spreaker, and we are also live on on Spreaker as well as spacedoutradio.com. Don't forget to head to our website, spacedoutradio.com. You can peruse the Spaced Out Radio store and read the encounter online, dealing with everything strange, paranormal, and odd. You can also check out some great videos from Tim Doyle from UFO Seekers and Leslie Mitchell Clark's Contact TV. Tonight, I have a treat for all you guys and gals out there. Tonight, we will be getting to know and speaking with Don Hiruko. Dawn was born with the gift of seeing spirits and having knowledge of things that were about to happen or have already happened. She also is an empath and can feel illnesses in other people living and passed over. She lives her life to the fullest, having many different experiences, knowing that the world is her oyster. She is an Army veteran, spending 7 years total in the Army with a top secret clearance. She now owns a business in Chandler with clients all over the world, doing readings, home blessings, mentoring other psychic mediums, and works as a life coach. She believes that her God-given gifts and working in an honest, no-nonsense, down-to-earth loving way, she's been the reason for her great success. Dawn has always been involved in volunteer efforts, working honestly with the homeless, providing necessities and food, and on January 7th, 1994, Dawn's father, Aaron Sanford, disappeared into the Tampa Triangle, never to be seen again. After this, Dawn added a new desire to her passion of helping others by assisting in the search for rescues. She knows too well the feeling of never knowing the real answers and never being able to recover her father's body and boat. Through her life, she has stumbled upon searches in that area. She has had great success in finding pets and lost people. In 2016, Dawn teamed up with Find Me and volunteers doing remote viewing for them. It fulfills the need to give back and also gives her peace knowing she's helping others find their lost loved ones. So I'm really excited about this tonight. So now I'm trying to get a hold of Dawn on Skype. She's been having issues with her Skype number, so I've been trying her on her home number, and now I'm not getting an answer. Let's see. Anyways, I gotta let you guys know, this last weekend we had this lady call me. I thought she was in Nashville area because that's the phone number that I was given. And she had things flying across her house, injuring her, disturbed sleep for the last 2 weeks. Her daughter being injured, and she was being punched in the back, scratched on the back, all kinds of attacks, and it was just relentless. And we met with her yesterday morning, and then we had to, after our Four Corners Paranormal meeting, it just coincided with her needing us up there because the elliptical was flipped over onto her daughter's foot. And then this 3-tiered metal bowl that she had for her fruit was thrown at her mother's head. And so everybody's crying and screaming. And I sent 2 of my crew up there, and they actually discovered that this was fairy activity, which really intrigued me. I've never really dealt with that. So that was really interesting. And then, you guys are never going to believe this. Today, as I'm, looking up things that I can ask our guest on today, Siri pops up in my phone. And I don't ever look on Siri. The only time I ever had was when my sister Amanda was like, hey, let's ask all these questions to Siri and see what she has to say, because after you ask so many questions or certain questions dealing with the FBI, CIA, etc., she starts to get standoffish or shuts down or whatnot. But today I'm not even asking Siri anything because I don't like to use artificial intelligence. I mean, it took me long enough to get over to a cell phone. So she pops up and she says, "Did you accidentally summon me?" And that totally blew me away. So yeah, that was interesting. That's how my weekend's been going. I was pretty drained after the preliminary investigation with this lady, and it turns out to be fae activity, which I'm not familiar with, but luckily my team is diverse, and my team could deal with it, and they were able to go up there. The energy today for her is really loose. There's really nothing going on. Nothing's been flying across the house. She just has residual bruises and stuff from things that have been thrown at her. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know how that had been going. But now here we have Dawn. Dawn, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. How do you pronounce that?
It's Hiruko.
Hiruko, okay.
Yes. Yeah,
I think
it's a little different.
Yeah, and I think I apologize. I think I pronounced it wrong on my Facebook Live earlier, trying to get people in here. But it's so
That's okay.
yeah.
Everybody does. It's fine.
Yeah, I switched the U and O backwards. Hiroku, I think is what I said. And then right after I said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I got that wrong. But it's so nice to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am Dawn Hiruko. I'm an empathic psychic medium. So I'm a medium. I connect with spirits. And I'm also clairvoyant. I have clairaudient and clairsentience, and which is seeing sight, clairvoyance is sight, clairaudience is hearing messages, and clairsentience is just kind of spirit working through me to give the answers without me having to process anything. And then I'm an empath, so I feel other people's emotions and illnesses, and because I'm a medium, I feel the illnesses, well, when they were here on Earth, Spirit shows me how they passed away by how I feel in my body. And so I'm able to help people get closure by giving answers of how their loved one has passed away, because a lot of people are left with questions.
Yeah, definitely. And that can be a great help to people and, going on to their healing process.
Yes, absolutely. That's the whole goal, is to just help everyone get closure and be able to move forward in their life knowing that their loved ones are still with them and that they're not suffering, or if they're at peace, they really want to know that their loved one's okay and that they're still with them.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you can help people out in that way and help them to move on in that process. It's a very difficult process. And for some people it comes sooner than others. Some people just get stuck on that, and it's so terrible.
Yes, it's so true. I have so many clients that come and they're just so lost because they, just want their loved one back so bad and they miss them so much. And grieving for everybody is different. And so, I just do my best to give them whatever answers that they need, and whatever spirit is willing to give to them. So I just do my best to help these people.
So what was your first spiritual and, what was your spiritual and religious upbringing?
I was raised Christian. I have been pretty much to every single Christian church out there because of, my mom's search. And so I have been Mormon, LDS, Baptist, Episcopalian, everything. I have been through everything. And I have realized that church pretty much, it doesn't matter what religion you are, whether you're Catholic or Buddhist or whatever, God is God. And so I'm very spiritual now. I just consider myself spiritual with Christian beliefs in the background.
Yeah, that's funny. As a child, after losing my mom, I went to so many different churches, and then around the age of 8, I was baptized into the Mormon religion. So I refer to myself as a Jack Mormon because I don't practice anymore. But I do take different things from different religions that I do agree with, and it feels right within me, and I apply those to my life. And I'm a very spiritual person, but I think if you're thinking of a religious person as someone that goes to church all the time, I'm not religious.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Matter of fact, I was talking to a guy who was Buddhist, and he was raised Mormon, and now he's Buddhist, and he gave me kind of a different outlook on it. It was very interesting. Like, he told me that, he learned everything he could learn from Christianity, because he's like one of these people that really dives in and just studies everything. And he said, and he's learned everything from Christianity, and now he is learning and getting everything he can get out of the Buddhism religion also. So it was really interesting to kind of see both sides of that from one person and listen to what he had to say about both. And I think that I don't think it really matters what religion you are. I think it just is just what you do with your life and that you believe in a higher power.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because recently I found myself when the Dalai Lama goes online and he's live, which he was a few times I think it was about over a month ago. He was located in different places, and I was like, I gotta tune into this because it really spoke to me, and he said a lot of very knowledgeable things, and the one that really struck resonance with me was don't talk down or bad about other religions, because it's just like medicine for different people. Everybody needs something different, and so you should
Exactly.
you should never speak ill of it. And besides his great wisdom, I just love his smile and his innocent laugh. It just makes me laugh and smile every time, and I just love him. But it's funny how we go from all these other different religions, and then, like, one of the last ones we do pinpoint on are Buddhism and other things like that. Well, that's kind of where my path is going, but yeah, it's pretty
Well,
awesome.
Everybody's different, and everybody needs different things. And if the Mormon religion is feeding your soul what your soul needs, then that's what you need. If Buddhism is feeding your soul and giving you what you need, then that's what you need. And I believe that with all of the religions, you know, it's about trying to make yourself a better person, you know, so that I think it's more about just trying to make yourself happy in the life that you have, because, you know, we're only here one time. So, you know, it's really good to learn what you can throughout that. But if any of those religions are what you need, then that's what you need. And talking ill about another one isn't going to change their opinion. So, you know, there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, putting any negative energy out there whatsoever is not progressive for us, you know?
Negative energy. Oh, my goodness. I don't even want to get on that subject. I'll go for hours.
Yeah, negative energy, I try to stay away from it and just shut it out as much as possible, because as you are, I'm empathic as well, and being around that really does affect me, no matter how much I don't want it to, because I want to be stronger than that. It really does. And that's where I finally realized what energy vampires were. I was like, oh, I totally get it now. You know, my brother is an energy vampire. He just sucks the life out of everybody, you know? It just happens, you know, different strokes for different folks, and it takes all kinds to make the world go round.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. You know, it's just some people they have a need to, you know, hear things or feel comforted constantly. They just have that need and that drive because they're either lost inside or not comfortable inside. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like so they kind of suck the energy out of other people to fulfill their emptiness, but it doesn't help them, and it just makes us feel horrible, you know. So there's no reason to. It's best to stay away from negative energy completely.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, my next question for you was, how old were you when you had your first spiritual or paranormal encounter?
The first time I can remember, and as I go through my life and I like think of all the different times that I had encounters, the first one I remember though, I was about 7 years old, and when I was little, we lived in a little tiny house in Michigan. It was just a little 2-bedroom house. And in the basement was my bedroom because my two sisters were younger than me, and they slept next to my mom, you know, in the other bedroom, and my mom was a single mom. And so I'd have to go down these dark stairs, turn on the light at the landing, go down these dark stairs to the basement to get to my little makeshift room. And, you know, my grandfather, who I just loved, he was my great-grandfather, he was just such an amazing, loving soul. But he used to show himself at the bottom of the stairs so I wouldn't be scared. And then that's my first ever, you know, realizing that I can see spirits. Well, that wasn't the first time I realized that. It's different, though, because the first time I realized it was different was when I had my first real sleepover, and everyone was afraid to go down to the basement, and I'm like, it's okay, my great-grandpa's down there. And they're like, oh, okay. So we go down there, there's nobody down there, and I'm like, he always shows himself down here. And then they were like, oh, ghost, you know. And then I was like, oh my goodness, something's wrong here. Why am I seeing this? Everybody's afraid of my grandpa. And, you know, it was just that, that's when I realized I'm able to see things that other people can't see. And I was my parents being very religious and everything at that time was like, or my mom, was like, it's not good to, tell people about spirits, not good to talk to them. It's, people are going to think you have the devil with you and all of this stuff. So I kind of like shut it down for a little bit, but I always used it through my life, always.
Well, that's so true. We fear ridicule and judgment from others. And I even had an aunt tell me, and she's like super religious, backwoods, hillbilly Baptist, I think it is, up in Boston, Arkansas. And I was telling her what I do, and, being paranormal investigation and being empathic and clairvoyant and all this other good stuff. I'm learning more about myself every day. Because I did lose my mom at an early age. I was 5, almost 6, and yeah, she was the spiritual side of me. And so, after that, my dad went into drugs and alcoholism, and he sent us to our grandparents, where I had all kinds of paranormal experiences, even dealing with the devil and kobolds, and then they couldn't handle us. My brother was pretty high strung, and so they sent us to live with our aunt and uncle. And when I would share my story with my aunt, she would tell me, well, that's just your imagination. And I knew it wasn't. It was so real to me, and I knew it was real. But at the same time, it kind of shuts that door or window on you. And that brings me up to my next question with you. So, did your parents know, support, and nurture this ability that you have?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was just kind of a joke. So there was no nurturing of it. It was all just, keep it quiet. I actually went to the church, and they laid their hands on me when I was an older teenager. So, but that wasn't brought on by my mom. That was brought on by my friend's parents. But other than that, And I went to a church camp once with my one friend. Oh goodness, what was her name? Jonna. Her name was Jonna. Anyways, I haven't thought of her in years. But we went to a church camp, and she snuck and brought a Ouija board with us.
Oh no!
And yes, and we were like playing with it, and we got caught, and they took it from us, and they said they burned it, and the Ouija board was screaming, trying to scare us, But
I've heard that story so many times.
But I know the truth, I know the truth, that there's good and bad in everything. And, playing with Ouija boards is not good when you're not grounded. It's not good. It's not good all around, because it can bring negative energy in. But as a child, I just was playing with my friends, But I do remember also hearing voices when I was a young kid, a young child, about 9 maybe. And they were very scary, scary, scary voices. And that's when I first realized that I can hear spirits as well as just see them. And so, but that was very scary. I was praying a lot. I broke out the Bible that night. I had my sister up in the middle of the night praying with me. Because when you have negative energy and when you have positive energy, and then you don't know how to ground yourself. You don't know how to take care of yourself and your soul and the spirits around you. So, all this negativity can come. I see that a lot too when I do home blessings too. Small children playing with, tarot cards and ghosts or, different things like that. And, I always have to sit down with the parents and say, look, it's not good to have this around your child, because they don't understand, and they're so pure at heart that they will draw that negative energy.
Well, it's funny because, yesterday not only did I have a preliminary investigation interview, we had our monthly team meeting for Four Corners Paranormal Investigations, and we were actually talking about that. Like, what better way to open up gateways and let people in or spirits in than to manufacture this to children? And this is just a game. And one of my teammates, she works in the school industry, and she's pretty high up there as far as administration, and she had a kid come to her, and she's like, what do you do in your free time? And he's like, I play with the Ouija board. And she's like, are you serious? you should not do that. And she even spoke with the parent, and even the parent was like, it's just a game. So they market it that way. Yes. It's just a game, and that way everybody doesn't take it seriously, and they just think, hey, this is just a game, so, I'm going to play this. And a lot of times they don't close it out correctly, and who knows what they let in. Because I believe it's very dishonest. Like, other spirits come through, they know what you're looking for, and so they're like, oh, well, I'm so-and-so, when it's really somebody else, How do you feel about that?
I really agree with that. And that's a lot about, when churches talk to you about spirits coming in, they do say, they say stuff like, how do you know that that's really the spirit that you're trying to contact and not a negative spirit pretending to be that spirit so that you'll be fake and, give them the information? You know what I mean? It's like negative spirits, but it's not really their loved one. And I really think that can happen around children. Like, I did a home blessing for another little girl that, I did a home blessing for a group home with disabled what is it called? The kids that have anger issues and stuff like that. They sometimes, when their parents can't handle them anymore, they put them in these group homes. Well, I was called in because this one group home, the kids were just so out of hand. I mean, destructive. I walked in there. I was just heartbroken seeing this house. It's in a very nice neighborhood. The house is a nice house. You walk inside, there's like holes in the walls. There's boards over the walls and I was like looking around, and they're saying, well, we had to reinforce the wall because the kids were like beating the walls down and stuff. And the whole time I was there, like, this negative energy, I could just feel it. It was like coming through my pores. I just was like, I couldn't breathe. I was nauseous. So I said, okay, I'm going to bless your house, and I blessed the house, and I got all the old energy out, and, everything. I did everything I was supposed to do. And the kids, I told them it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I talked to the lady that called me to go in there since then, and she says that things have been so much better since I blessed the house and got that negative energy out. So that just goes to show how much a child is susceptible to negative energy and how easy it is for a negative spirit to come in and take over these pure beings, because children are just pure beings. They're welcome anything because they're so open.
Yeah, they're so impressionable and innocent and just looking for any sort of guidance. And a lot of times when they are in those group homes and they don't have that parental guidance, even though they have a mentor there to try to help them, it's not always what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I could see how that Ouija board and whatever energy they let in affected them, and it was just violent tendencies and anger and eruption. My experience...
Well, with them,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying with them, I don't think there was Ouija boards or anything involved, and I kind of got off subject a little bit, but I just was trying to point out how children and spirits are so, how they seek out these innocent people. But a Ouija board is like the venue to get there, for these negative energies. That, or on the phones, they have those ghost apps, talking to the phone and ask your loved ones questions. And then you start to hear things like, oh, please don't talk to that man. He's not a good man. You hear their voices. And they're just bringing in negative energy, and it's supposed to be just a toy.
Yeah, being raised, well, not raised my whole childhood, but being baptized and raised LDS later on, I was always told, like, D&D, which I really enjoy playing. I must admit to being a geek, but I was always told D&D is bad, don't ever partake of that. Right. And Ouija boards, don't ever touch it. And so it wasn't until I was in MRP, which is the Marine Rehabilitation Platoon, and Hurricane Bonnie was coming through. We were in North Carolina at the time, so we were all stuck in our squad bay, and we had inherited, we were passing this Ouija board back and forth between the men's and the women's platoon. This guy, last name Black, had been crushed during training exercises with a tank. So his Ouija board went to the crew. They had it, and then they gave it to us, and all the girls were on there during Hurricane Bonnie. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to get on here?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've always been directed not to do so." And they did it for a while, and I observed, and then I was like, "Okay, I'll try it," wanting to talk to my mom. And I got on there, and I was like, "Can I talk to my mom?" And it said no. And so, being 18 at the time, I'm like, F you then. I'm going to go take a shower.
Right.
Yeah. So I went and did that, and then came back, and everybody was gone, but the Ouija board was still on my rack. And I was like, well, I'm going to try this, not knowing you're supposed to have somebody with you when you do it. And so I got on there, and it was immediate, and it was moving so fast all over the place. Tell Gary, tell Greg, tell Kathy, tell John I love them. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay. And then, I started asking her questions. Is she okay? What's it like over there? Etc., etc. And she said she was okay. She could go anywhere she wanted, anytime she wanted. And all these things she was telling me was so great. And I believed it was her because, how she was going off on my brother and sister's names and just wanting to get the message across, I'm okay. And so I was so excited, and I guess a couple girls from my platoon came up and they were trying to get me off the board. I did not hear them. I did not feel them. And that part kind of scared me in the after effect. But I did finally get off. I called my dad the very next day, told him excitedly what happened. I talked to Mom, yada yada, and he's like, well, sis, this could have been some other spirit trying to mislead you. And it just crushed my heart. I was like, oh, so excited I talked to my mom after all these years. And then I did start to think about it, and I still do today. It could have been something trying to manipulate me, but I do, being the way it first started off, knowing all the names and everything and getting that first point across, it was my mom, but I do know the deception of a Ouija board. It's kind of freaky.
Yes. Yeah, but sometimes our loved ones will come through, but it's not just them that comes through. So those people that play with those devices, those ghost devices on their phones, the apps, their loved ones, yes, they can speak to their loved ones. They say, oh, so-and-so, please talk to me, or whatever, I miss you, I love you. And you'll hear them. It's kind of comes through white noise, but at the same time, you'll hear other voices and other static in there too. And with that, that's when you get those other spirits. Because our loved ones are always with us. They're always within 3 feet of us. So they're with us. So your mom is always with you. And so if you're on a Ouija board, your mom probably was sending you that message. But that's not to say the next time you touched it, it's going to be your mom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I even had my mentor who was teaching me about stones and chakras and stuff like that. She passed from cancer, but she would always invite me over because her and her daughter used the Ouija board like a telephone is the only way I could, describe it. They were on it all the time.
Right.
Do you want to come over and use with us? Do you want to come do a seance? And I'd always have to take a step back and say no, but I'll film it. But it kind of freaked me out, but I understand how people just see it as another way of connecting, but it's too deceptive to me to trust it.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I just stay away from that kind of stuff. I won't even go see movies that have scary spirits in it, like those, I don't know what they're called. I can't even paranormal movies because I'm so afraid that there's a negative spirit at the movie theater and it's going to attach to me and come home with me. And I'm trying so hard to keep negativity away from me so that I can have pure readings for the people that I'm reading to help them, that I won't go see those. There's one out right now, a brand new movie out that my daughter's bugging me to go, and I'm like, no, no, no. And they almost tricked me. They're like, Mom, come to the movies with me on Father's Day. And I was like, okay, that sounds like fun. We're going to go see a movie called Hereditary. Oh, cool. And in my brain, I'm thinking cowboys, pioneers. What could Hereditary be?
Yeah.
Oh, and then I went online and saw the preview, and I was terrified. I was like afraid to go to sleep that night just from seeing the preview.
Oh no.
I had my patchy tear obsidian stones in my bra.
Protection galore.
Yeah. I'm like, I just had everything around me. I had selenite. I'm like doing everything I can to get away from that negative energy.
Well, it's good to be protected though, because like, I don't know, my husband points the finger at me a lot of times and he's like, well, it's because you mess with this. And, I'm not practicing magic or anything like that. I'm just trying to help people on this side and the other side, find peace in some way. And I'm like, you know what? I could go to a music festival right now and pick up a negative entity. Like, I don't have to be doing anything to help anyone, and something's going to attach to me because it sees me and I look yummy as far as food. They want to feed off of that energy. Because
when you try, I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but when you try really hard to constantly be positive, those negative energies are like, oh, pure, let's go say hello over there, and they just will come right to you. So, and that's their whole thing, is they want that pure soul. And nobody's pure. Nobody's pure excepting a newborn baby. But at the same time, when you're working so hard to stay and try to be as pure as possible, and I say pure, I'm not talking religious pure, I'm talking pure in mind, trying to be whole and just confident and positive. And they see that and they're like, ooh, yummy, yummy, like you said,
Yeah, it's like ripe fruit because it looks so bright and lovely and delicious because, like you said, the positive energy, but then they come in and they, try to cause contention and turmoil and, feed off that negative energy or show you their face and feed off that fear, because those are really powerful. Joy is really powerful, but those are, if you ever watch Monsters, Inc., like the scream and everything seemed more powerful until they got the laughter out. The laughter was actually more powerful, but it's weird how they do, like, choose you and feed off of you. So,
it's so true. It's so true.
I was going to ask you, do you believe in ghosts? But I know you do.
Yes, I do. I chased one out of a house in Peoria. This ghost has been attacking this man, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go bless the house. And then the boy's father, it was the boy, he was like 18 or something, like close to 18. But his father was like, did you do the attic? Can you bless the attic? And I was like, okay, let's try to set this ladder up. Let's get up there. And I saw it, and I was like, you have to go now. And, but they haven't had a problem since. So I, chased that spirit right out of there.
Yeah, sometimes you need to. They just don't know when they should go or not. So why do you think people see ghosts?
I think that people are seeing ghosts because either it's somebody who is trying to be seen, trying to get noticed, because either they've been walking the earth for a long time or they're in a space for a long time where they just want that attention. I mean, spirits are, they're just like us. They love, they feel, they want to connect with humans. And if their spirits walking the earth, which are ghosts, they're going to show themselves so that they can have that connection. They just want to be noticed. They want to know that, they want you to know that they're there, so they're going to show you. And a lot of times ghosts too, can be, it doesn't necessarily need to be somebody who's just walking the earth. It can be somebody's loved one who's with them that is just trying to comfort them, and so they might show them. You might see them out the corner of your eye, or was it, did I just see somebody walk across the hallway? It's that kind of thing, and it's like, oh, or or sometimes you see the orbs and stuff like that. It's just them trying to let you know they're with you and that you're loved. And the ones that are not connected to you are just trying to find peace. They're trying to get that love that they miss or whatever happened here on Earth with them. I mean, everybody's different, so everybody's energy is going to be different.
Yeah, exactly. And what you are on this side, you're going to be on the other. You don't automatically die and be like, oh, now I'm a good person. You are who you are.
Exactly. Yes,
so,
you are who you are.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I did a reading one time. When I first came out to the public, I did a reading for this girl that I went to high school with. And she is from Chicago. And so in Chicago, where she lived, I was connected to her parents. And then I'm like giving her all the messages. And I kept seeing a clown. I kept seeing a clown. I kept seeing a clown. And it was like a scary clown. It wasn't like no kids party clown. It was like a scary clown. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I am petrified of clowns. And so I'm like, I have to stop because I keep seeing a clown. And she was like, oh, I don't like clowns either. Well, ends up that her father went to the same church as John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, damn.
That's the clown that I kept seeing was John Wayne Gacy. And so I had to bless my house after she left and when I first came out to the public and started doing readings for the public, I didn't really know how to ground myself yet. I didn't really know how to protect myself yet. So I had John Wayne Gacy nightmares for like a month until I finally reached out to somebody and said, oh my gosh, please help me, and then she was like, okay, you just listen to this video, follow the instructions on it, and it'll help you to ground. And then now I share that video with everybody, and it's only a 10-minute long grounding video on YouTube, and it changed my life, and I am protected all the time now, and I listen to it every time before I do readings for anybody, and I listen to it again afterwards because I don't want anything negative around me.
Yeah, that's so true. You got to keep your energy and energies around you positive.
Yeah, but you are who you are when you pass over. Just like John Wayne Gacy was a murderer here on Earth that dressed up like a clown. He passed over, and they always show you how they feel that they look the best, and he must have felt that he looked the best as a clown because that's how he shows himself. So.
Yeah, or whatever the best way to get the rise out of you that they want, the sort of energy off of you that they want. Because Gacy probably in his life liked that negative energy of fear and having that control over someone. And, that's what he fed off of. That's what he craved. And he's going to be that way in the afterlife as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So, my next question was, does one seeing spirits mean that one's third eye is open? Are they psychically gifted in some way? Or is it just perchance the spirit wanting to communicate?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. I didn't know anything about third eyes and chakras and all of that stuff because I'm a natural born medium. So I didn't study anybody or anything like that. I actually went to a Reiki master that another girl that I went to high school with. She's a Reiki master. And on the way there, I'm hearing a message from somebody, and I'm like, oh, that was so emotional because at that time I wasn't using my gifts, and it was just wearing me down. I was just broken, honestly, just broken. And I went to her, and she was like, I said, okay, this is going to sound really weird to you, but this is a message for you from so-and-so, and so I'm giving it to you. And she was like, oh, Dawn, thank you for doing that. And she said, he wasn't a good person to me when he was here on Earth, but I'm, because his message was, I'm so sorry for everything that I did and everything that I caused. And there was more to it, but so I gave her that message, and then she was like, and she kind of got a little bit of emotional, and she was like, that was something I needed to hear. And so, that kind of was the turning point. There was a couple other turning points of me coming out as a medium to the public, but that was really the main one. But she really, that was just an eye opener of, okay, I am hearing things that mean something for somebody. It's not just crazy. Did that make sense to your question? Oh, third eye, sorry. So I didn't know anything about third eye and stuff like that. But then I started listening to vibrational music to help open my third eye, and that's kind of what I teach other people that come to me for mentoring and stuff. So vibrational music and opening that third eye, that, what is it called? Perineal. I never say it right. Perineal gland. But and it's very sensitive. Like if I touch my forehead there, it's very, very, very sensitive, and I can just feel the energy off of it. So I do believe, yes, it has to do with your third eye being open. I don't know if mine was ever closed, but yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, we did a lot of energy work yesterday because we had our monthly meeting after our preliminary investigation interview, and we actually had one of our teammates teaching us energy work and, how to unblock yourself in certain areas. And it was funny because we were so drained after that interview, just the negative energy that was there and all the stuff that was going on, and being many of us are empathic, and both me and my medium were so tired and drained. We're like, we need some caffeine. And she's like, if you aren't kicking your feet up by the end of this class, like, I'm not doing my job right. And it was amazing. Like, each exercise we did, it opened and opened and opened. And at some point, the world just looked brighter. And it was kind of like you were in another world. And the cramp that was in between my shoulder blades went away. That happened right after the interview. I had this cramp, and I showed up early because my battery kept trying to die on the car I'm using at this point, and nothing I was doing was making it go away. But as I did the energy exercises, it went away. I think I was just building up that negative energy and not knowing how to get rid of it. It was pretty interesting.
Yes, and it's so important, to get rid of it. But I totally agree with you. And now I understand chakras. I can't say I'm an expert in that field because I don't really do Reiki and chakra stuff, but I know that my solar plex can get blocked by childhood traumas and stuff like that, and so I work on things like that to open my solar plexus so that I'm not feeling and carrying that negative energy from that, and then I also, my throat chakra, from also childhood trauma, my throat chakra has been closed so much. Like, I never felt like my voice was good enough to hear. And so once I started practicing opening my throat chakra, now it seems so weird. It's like the words kind of flow. When I'm doing that, it's like the words flow. It sounds like I need to do it again because I'm kind of stumbling over my words. But it does. Opening those chakras, it's like letting the sunshine in, honestly.
Yeah, it is, and that's good energy.
Yes, absolutely.
Another thing touching on spirits, are waves of heat, sparkles of light, and orbs signs of a spirit trying to manifest or communicate to us?
Yes, I really believe that's it. Now, a lot of times when people are seeing orbs, like people come to me all the time and they're like, look at this orb, Dawn, look at this. And I'll look at it and I'll say, yes. But then you can't tell by the orb of who the person is or anything. But as a medium, I can look at it with the person that I'm with and be like, oh, you know what? This is a man or a woman that looks like this. And, and who is this person to you? And it almost always is somebody that's related to them or somebody that loves them and is just showing them orbs. There's also like this little boy, he had, oh my goodness, I can't remember what it is he had, but it's something where it's like oh goodness, I can't remember, but it's like Fracture X or something like that. And his is just a little boy, and his mom was always sending me pictures of orbs, and he is one of these innocent children that has something that, affects their moods and stuff, kind of like autism, I guess. I don't know if it's the same, and because I'm not a medical doctor or anything, so I don't know if it's like on the same spectrum or anything as autism, but that's the only way I can kind of relate it to, express what I seen and what everything. But anyways, she would send me videos of him running around the living room and stuff, and he was just this adorable little boy, but there's all these little orbs just following him around, and I'm like, you know what, I really feel like it's your mother or your grandmother that's with him, that's just loving on him right now, because he is just so precious. And it was like 4 little orbs in all of the videos, just all around him. It was just the coolest thing ever. So I know that it's our loved ones coming through. I know it is. And then also, like, when you see the changes in air, it's like thickness in the air. I know that that's also spirit there, too. It's just, I don't know if they can't show themselves, their face or whatever. I think that that's their way of just showing that they're with us. It's just kind of a thickness or a haze. And then I can't remember what the third thing was that you asked. There was 3 things: orbs, haze, and something else.
Sparkles of light.
Oh, sparkles of light. Yes. So a lot of times I notice in pictures around people, I don't know if the sparkles of light are spirit, but I feel like it has something to do with your own personal energy when it comes to sparkles of light, because sometimes you'll get a person that's like a person who gives to a lot of people and helps a lot of people and does things like that. And when they take their picture, it's like they have this light about them. And then sometimes you'll see like these sparkles of lights around their pictures. And it's just the coolest thing. But those are usually, I believe that is their own energy. I'm not sure if that's spirit or not. I've always considered it to be their energy.
Yeah, that's interesting. We've had a lot of activity in our house, a couple entities and different ways that they appear. And at one point, my roommate Brian was like, "Did you just see that?" And I was like, "No, what happened?" And he's like right behind you and to the left, up at the ceiling, there was like the sparkling of light, and it was kind of like, a sparkler or whatever, and then it just went away. And so I don't know if that was activity in the house or if that was him, but that's interesting, a different perspective on that.
It sounds like it was. I know that, like, when your lights flicker and stuff and you don't have a short in that light bulb or anything, I've had that happen, where there's spirits around and the lights will flicker. I've had knocking on the walls. I've had people, like, where my client can actually hear their voices also instead of just me. Like, I hear all kinds of voices all the time because I'm clairaudient. But like this one client that was here, he actually heard his wife speaking, and he was like, "Wait a second, was that my wife?" And I was like, "Oh, you heard that too?" I said, "Okay, it wasn't me. It wasn't just me, And I'm like, that's really cool that your wife made sure that you heard her voice. It was just the most beautiful moment, honestly.
Yeah, it's really awesome when things like that happen and you do know that they are there and you're able to hear and communicate with them. We have 2 minutes before our first break. So if you want to touch just a little bit more on this subject, or you can give out links, how people can find you and check you out during the break.
Okay, so let's see. So I have a Facebook page. It's called Dawn Hiruko, Empathic Psychic Medium, and I pretty much just put positive messages on there. But I have a web page, and so if you just Google me, Dawn, D-A-W-N, Hiruko, Hiruko, it will come up. I'm on Yelp. It's really easy to get a hold of me. I have clients from all over the world. So, if you want to get a reading, you're welcome to call me or to message me there. Can I get my phone number on here or no?
It's generally best not to do that. It's generally best to have them just look
Okay.
on your website and do it that way, but I've done the same thing, and then Dave's like, shh, no, you're not supposed to give out your number. So I don't know if it's different for you, but yeah, it's better for them to just go to your website and find you.
Okay, so I just was offering that. But, yeah, just go to my webpage, and then when you guys get my number off of my webpage, text me, don't call me, because I get phone calls all the time, and I hardly can answer my phone. So text me, and I'll get back to you right away. It's even in my message. When you call me and it goes straight to the voicemail, it's on there. It says text me, because I get back like almost immediately unless I'm in session with somebody. But if you call me, I may not get back till the next day.
All right.
It's just my phone doesn't stop ringing.
We're going on break now, and we'll be back in just a little bit. You guys don't go anywhere.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for some great nightlife? The Moose Vancouver is the place to be. Catch a game on one of the big screens, or just come rock out to your favorite 80s and 90s hair bands. Great food starting at $6.95. The Moose Vancouver is open until 2 a.m. nightly. It's easy to find near the corner of Nelson and Granville. The Moose Vancouver is the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with a nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Coming September 28th to the 30th, it's our first annual Caribou Paracon, put on by Spaced Out Radio and the Canadian Society of Questers. 3 days of paranormal, supernatural, and spiritual knowledge in the beautiful 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia. Tickets are $150 Canadian for the event, being held at the Spruce Hills Resort and Spa. Come watch our featured speaker, Grant Cameron, along with Lorian Fenton, David Weatherly, Ross Allison, and more. The Caribou Paracon, celebrating everything paranormal.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
Hey Space Travelers, it's Joe Roop, your host of Spaced Out Saturdays. Come join me as we explore the realms of the paranormal, the esoteric, and everything in between every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. You know the truth is out there. Don't get caught sleepwalking. Come join Spaced Out Saturdays. That's every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, right here on SpacedOutRadio.com.
365 days a year, we're in the field, investigating UFO sightings, talking to alien abductees, and visiting secret military locations like Area 51. We're UFO Seekers, official partner of Spaced Out Radio. Follow our daily search for the truth at ufoseekers.com or like us on social media. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
It's paranormal news at its finest. Welcome to The Encounter. At SpaceOutRadio.com, The Encounter online is SOR's trusted news source for everything weird and strange going on around the world. This is news editor Eric Markham. Our team of journalists are scouring the planet for those strange stories that rarely make the mainstream. No fear-mongering or fake news here. Head over to SpaceOutRadio.com and encounter The Encounter.
Want to learn more about aliens, cover-ups, conspiracies, cryptids, and the paranormal? All you have to do is tune in S4 as we take over Spaced Out Radio Night, starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, each and every Saturday night, right after Spaced Out Saturdays. Hi there, this is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Join me, Corey Ruiz, and friends as we discuss the hot topics of the night. It's fun, entertaining, and as dark as the night. Find us at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you an experiencer? Have you had run-ins with strange creatures you can't explain? ETs, Dogman, Bigfoot, werewolves? They're enough to scare the daylights out of anyone. Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski from your 4-Cop. And on the last Monday of every month, you can listen to me and the host, Dave Scott, talk about the weird and the strange being reported on Spaced Out Radio. I'm going to bring my investigations and sources, you bring your experiences, and we'll figure out the rest together. Strange Days on Spaced Out Radio. Come tune us in at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Looking for nighttime adventure? Old school radio that delves into everything out of the norm? Then check us out at Spaced Out Radio. This is Dave Scott. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, we're going to take you on a wild ride ranging from conspiracies to true crime and every ghost, alien, and Sasquatch story in between. We're always live and we're always interactive with you. So join us at spacedoutradio.com, where together we own the night.
Tonight's show and topic of discussion do not necessarily reflect the opinion of Spaced Out Radio, SOR Media, or its hosts. Listener discretion is advised. It's hour number 3 of Spaced Out Sunday with host Tessa Nicole Thomas. Follow Tessa on Twitter at TessaTNT. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. Now back to the Rocky Mountains. Here's Tessa.
Hey guys, welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio. We're here with Dawn Hiruko, and she is a psychic medium. She's very talented, and she also helps with search and rescue. Dawn, welcome back, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So just continuing on with spirits, I have one or two more questions. I was wondering, how would someone who has never seen spirits or ghosts open themselves up to being able to do such?
Okay, so I'm not sure if everybody can see spirits and ghosts. I'm not sure if that's an ability that every single person can have. But I can tell you that I know as a young child, everyone has that ability. I would say to make sure that you're grounded, number one, but then look on YouTube. And YouTube, I don't like to plug, apps like that, but YouTube has so many helpful videos about vibrational things to help you open your third eye, help you to see things and connect with things. And I help mentor other psychics that come to me that haven't been able to develop their sight as well as they want to. And I think that a lot of times people that want to see spirits, they see them, but they don't really realize that they're seeing spirit. So like when I see spirit, it's kind of, I see them, but not like they're walking or just standing there. It's kind of in my own mind's eye, which it's kind of hard to explain. It's my third eye that sees them, but it's really in my brain, although they're not in my brain. And so you may be seeing your spirits, but it looks more like you're having a daydream or an imagination. So I think everybody has the ability to do it. It's just, are they open to understanding that that's spirit, or are they saying, oh, that was an imagination, or that was just, a daydream. And so I think everybody, I don't know, I kind of am like iffy with that one. I'm not sure if everybody can or not, but I know that when I see spirit, it's more of like a daydream to me than actually seeing them standing there.
Yeah. It's somewhat quite not real, but you know it is because you know you're awake.
Yes. Yes.
So do you think, do the dead watch us? Are they at all interested in us, or are they just doing their own thing?
I don't think that they watch us. I don't think that they're looking at us and they're like, what is she doing today? But I think that they're doing their own thing as they're around us, and they kind of go through our life with us. And so as we're going through things, when we're doing things that are happy and exciting, they're feeling that good emotion off of you, and they're happy and excited for you, which makes them happy and excited, if that makes sense. And when you're miserable and sad and, you know, something bad is going on in your life or whatever, then, you know, they're feeling sadness. And I really believe that they're sending blessings and guidance for you at that time. It's just whether you're receiving the message and understanding it. And, you know, sometimes people get so dark and down on themselves that they can't see any good anyways, because it's just like one hit after another hit after another hit of negativity. And so when they see spirit trying to guide them and stuff, I don't think that they can accept it. But I do believe that spirit, I don't believe that they're sitting there watching everything we do. Like, you know, when you're going to the bathroom, your loved ones are 3 feet with you, but I don't think they're in the bathroom going, what happened in there today? You know what I mean? So
how does she do that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They don't care about that kind of stuff. What they care about is you. How are you feeling? What are you doing in your life that's exciting and happy? And the happier you are, the more things that you do that are good, or the more things that you do that are exciting, that make you feel happy or proud, they're doing that too with you, and they're just loving you. And I believe that that's when they're watching.
So when you have premonitions, do they come to you when you're awake, or is it in a dream state, or kind of like you were just talking about, kind of like a daydream state?
Okay, so for me, and everybody's different, but for me, when I'm dreaming about spirit, it's usually my loved ones that are coming to me and saying, hey, I'm here with you. And a lot of times it's like in that state when you're waking up, but you're not all the way awake, so you're kind of still in a daydream state, you know, and then it'll be like, I'm smelling coffee. Oh, is that Grandma talking in the other room? What? Is that Grandma? What is she saying? And I've actually heard my grandma say, hey, you guys, she's waking up. She's waking up. Be quiet, you know, come here, you know, that kind of thing. So, but when I'm awake, I don't see spirits for me. I only see spirits for everybody else. So that's how it is for me. But everybody's different. So somebody else may see, you know, have dreams about other people's stuff and, you know, not about them. More than likely, it's the same way as how I see it. But then I have people that say, you know, I dream about things and it happens. That doesn't happen for me. I don't get dreams of premonitions of things.
So, how long have you had premonitions? I know you were gifted since birth, but do you know when about the time you began to have them was?
I remember my stepmother was telling me one time, I don't know how the conversation came up, but I'm sure it was because I was seeing spirits. But she told me that when she drives past somebody who has passed away, or if she smells flowers, there's a funeral happening or something like that. And that kind of awakened that in me, where I started being like, I wonder if I smell flowers when there's a funeral or whatever. And I was about 9 at that time, so I would say 9.
So do you think you can tell us about some of your premonitions and knowledge of certain past events that you shouldn't have had knowledge of?
Oh, yes. Okay, so presidencies, I have said that before the elections that Obama was going to be president twice. I told everybody on Facebook in like July before the November elections that Trump was going to be president. And I had a whole bunch of backlash, from both times. I had backlash saying, that's horrible, that's really sad, whatever, because everybody has their own opinions of things. But I've always had that. And then the World Series, the Cubs winning the World Series in the 10th inning, I had that premonition, and I put it out there, and I got thank yous before the game was over, and they won the World Series. So, I do get these premonitions, and they do come true. I don't really get negative premonitions, like when the Twin Towers were crushed, and the planes hit them and stuff. I did not get that kind of premonition. But when I woke up, it was just the weirdest thing. I was so drawn to turn on the TV, and it was there. But I didn't know it was going to happen before. I just was like being drawn to that, whereas I don't wake up in the morning in my bedroom and turn on my TV. I usually get up and go make coffee and go do my stuff. But that morning I got up and I was like, I got to turn on the TV. And I turned on the TV and the towers blew up. Another time too was when the Challenger, the one with the school teacher on it, that's the Challenger, I think, the spaceship that went up. It was the weirdest thing. It was like I turned on the TV. I just was like, had that need to go and see what's on TV. And I'm not a TV watcher. And that was the first thing. It was like right there, the thing took off and then it just blew up. And I was like, oh, man, but I'm drawn to things like that. But my premonitions have been not about death. It's been about good things or about presidencies or things like that.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, I have one more I was going to say. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
I got a premonition from John Denver once, and he was like sending through this religious thing to me, and I was like, what the heck? I didn't know that he was this, really religious person. I didn't know anything about John Denver except for Sunshine on My Shoulders, and I kept hearing his song over and over and over, and I'm like, why are you sending me this? And I go on there, and then here it is all this, and what was posted was all this stuff about, believe in God and do good, and, I was just like, I'm so drawn to this, so of course I posted it on Facebook, and then I got messages back later, private messages saying, thank you, I needed to hear that today. And so I think that spirit, puts me in the place to help others. So I think that that's what those premonitions are more about than disasters.
Well, I'm glad you have more positive than negative. It's hard when you get those negative ones, and it kind of makes you feel guilty because you knew, and kind of feel somewhat involved just because you did know.
Yes.
Do you, as an empath, find it difficult to be in large groups or around negative people, being you are an empath?
Yes. Oh, yes. I have very difficult times going. I've gone to people's houses. Like she's a very, very, very close friend of mine now, but my one friend, Vicky, she, my husband smokes those vapor cigarettes, so she used to sell those. So we went to her house, which was her store, and I walk in there. I've got my mother-in-law and her two sisters there and my husband there, and they're all kind of like going through everything, and they're just talking. And I just felt nauseous, so I just kind of sat down on her sofa. I couldn't breathe. And then she came over and sat by me, and we started talking, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel good. Well, it ended up it was a rental house, and there was all this negative energy in there. And so she called me back, and she came and saw me and had me come back, and I blessed her house and stuff and got rid of all the negative energy, and I was feeling better. But if I go to groups, like group activities like parties and stuff like that, if there's anybody there that is giving off a negative energy, it will totally shut me down and I will become an introvert. And it's not, I'm an extrovert. I like talk to everybody. I laugh. I'm having fun, but I will instantly become an introvert and end up sitting in the corner just by myself.
Yeah, it makes you feel awkward.
Yes. I also thought I was a hypochondriac for a long time there, too, because I didn't understand why when somebody else was sick, I always got sick. Or if somebody had a sore leg, my leg hurt, or my back hurt, or I got a headache if somebody had a headache. You know, as other people's stuff was affecting me because they're feeling it. And so in people that were depressed, if I had somebody depressed around me, I was feeling depressed. And it really can affect you if you're an empath, yes.
Yeah, I've, through my being empathic and how energies have just, I don't know, to me it seems like everything's amping up. It's, you know, going so much faster, evolving so much faster in a certain sense, but not in others. But I get that social anxiety where I don't like to be around big groups and especially negative energies. I'm like, I'd rather just stay home by myself and watch TV or read a book or something, you know?
Exactly. I mean, there's times my husband, he wanted me to go talk to somebody when I was younger because we've been together for 30 years, and he was like, Dawn, I think you might have that agoraphobia thing. You don't want to go anywhere. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'll go anywhere you want to go. But I didn't want to go by myself. I wanted to go with my husband or with somebody else because I didn't realize what was happening, but what was happening is I'd get around people and I was just feeling crappy. And so if I was with somebody that I loved, then, you know, I was feeling their love. And so everybody else's stuff didn't really affect me because I was getting all the good stuff from the person that I cared about. But if to go by myself, to go to the store or to go anywhere, I don't like to do it at all.
Yeah, there's just so much you can pick up both physically and emotionally.
I agree.
So when you sense illness in the living and the deceased, do you physically feel it within yourself or do you just know?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so if somebody has diabetes, my legs and feet will tingle. If there's been a heart attack, I feel pain in my right shoulder, not my left shoulder, but my right shoulder. It kind of runs down my arm. Traumatic death, if somebody who's passed over is showing me how they died and it's a traumatic death, let's say they had you know, they were murdered or they had a car accident or they committed suicide, it'll like ache in my armpit. I can feel if somebody has had cancer I'll either feel in my stomach, my chest, or the back of my right shoulder. I can feel congestive heart failure across my chest, autoimmune diseases across my chest. If there's been a car accident and they're showing it to me, I'll feel it in my armpit, but then sometimes if they're the driver and it's been the airbag hit them or the steering wheel crushed their chest, I'll feel it in my chest. Nervousness in my arm is either alcoholism, drug abuse, or high blood pressure. Stroke comes up the back of my neck. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, and depression is like clogginess in my third eye. I will I can tell somebody if they have, you know, hormonal imbalance, GI issues. I can tell you if you've got a vitamin deficiency. And but I don't ever diagnose anybody, obviously, because I don't have a medical degree, but I do help a lot of people get homeopathic ways to deal with the symptoms. And as I tell them to go get blood work done and go talk to their doctor. But I definitely feel those illnesses, and I know exactly how somebody has passed away by how I feel in my body. And I almost, I would say 98% correct every time.
That's awesome, and that's a pretty good track record.
Well, you know, when you got somebody sitting in front of you and they're giving you confirmation, it's pretty easy to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
But I think there's only been like a couple of times, like at first when I didn't understand people who passed away with diabetes, why I was feeling it in my chest. But then I figured it out. Their kidneys shut down. It puts fluid up around their chest, and it causes congestive heart failure. So that's why I feel it in my chest. And I'd be like, oh, I feel like that person either had congestive heart failure or they had an autoimmune disease. And then they'll say, no, they had diabetes. And I'll go, aha. If their kidneys shut down, it put fluid around their heart. So what really took them was a heart attack. And then I always get the smart Alex back going, well, everybody's heart stops when they die. And I'll be like, yeah, but Spirit isn't going to show that to me if that's not the cause of their death.
Yeah, for sure. So you have to tell us about this top secret military clearance. What's that all about?
So when I joined the Army, I was in the Army for 7 years, and when I joined the Army, I wanted to be an MP so bad. I wanted to be a policeman so bad my whole life and do investigations and everything. Well, when I went in, I said, I want to be an MP, and they kind of laughed at me, and they said, you're going to be guarding a shack out in nowhere, every single day. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound fun. And then they said, well, let's go do your ASVAB test and see what your score is. So, we're always put on the path that we need to be on. I did horrible in school. Math was my worst subject. I did horrible. But I graduated high school. I went and took this ASVAB test, and I scored brilliantly on it. And they were so shocked, and they said, not shocked. I mean, I shouldn't say that because, I don't know. I don't want to say somebody was shocked if I don't really know how they felt. But I was shocked. I was shocked, seriously shocked.
Yeah.
But they told me, these are what you can go into, and one of them was Morse code interceptor. And I was like, oh, okay, that's always been fun. When I was a little kid, I used to see my dits and ... But I did it, and so then to do that, though, you needed a top secret clearance. So they went through and they investigated and came back, and they gave me my clearance. And then I went to Fort Devens, Massachusetts, and went to Morse code, which is 05 Hotel, Morse code school. And but there was like a little bit of trouble there, not with me, but with a drill sergeant there. And so they kind of split up all the women, and I ended up going from there to Fort Gordon, Georgia. So I not only had the Morse code with the top secret clearance, but then I also started working with satellites. And so I did a lot of satellite work where I would interpret messages and help and encrypt messages, and it's all top secret stuff, but that I can't really dive into more than that.
Yeah, there's a certain aspect of, protecting yourself and preserving your life.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what really intrigues me, being that the Dylan Redwine case brought me out of the closet, and it was a friend of my daughter's, and he went missing Thanksgiving weekend, and we've done several pinpoints where we've gotten points. Like with me, it was my dowsing rods of locations where his body parts are, sad to say. But your search and rescue, how exactly does this work, and what is your process and procedure?
Okay, so I do that with Find Me Group. I had actually done a search and rescue case before I found Find Me. I was in Hawaii. We were driving. My daughter was going to University of Hawaii, and she just graduated. So, but anyways, when she first went to Hawaii, my mother-in-law lived there, and so she had been here in Arizona and visited me. And then she said, "Come home with me. Come home. Let's go surprise your daughter." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I went to Hawaii, and as we're driving down the H3, which is one of their highways there from the airport to the side of the island that she lived, we passed this huge mountain range called the Kualo Ranges. And I started feeling really super nauseous. And I'm like, like, am I car sick? What is going on? I shouldn't be car sick. I don't get car sick, very often. And we're driving, and I go, I don't know, what happened on this mountain here? And she had been in Arizona, so she didn't know anything about the missing boy and stuff. But she was like, she goes, well, people go up this stairway to heaven, and a lot of them fall and get hurt. And she goes, maybe that's what you're feeling. And I was like, yeah, maybe. So we go to her house, and then I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to go see my daughter. So we got in the car and we went and saw my daughter and surprised her. And then I was there for a week, and I arrived on Sunday, and this was now Friday. Friday, my husband's family always does these really cool, like, get-togethers where they just make so much food and just make you feel so special. And I was there, and my husband's sister, my sister-in-law Colette, said to me, she said, do you know anything about that missing boy? And I was like, missing boy? And then her sister-in-law was there, Faye, who I just adore. Well, I adore all of them. But she said, yeah, he was up I said, was he something about that range, that Kulo range? And she said, yeah, he went up those stairway to heaven, and they haven't been able to find his body. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can help, because I hadn't done search and rescue before that. And I was like, I don't know, but give me a notepad, and I'll just kind of do my thing and see what I can get. And I said, do you guys know what this kid looks like or anything? And they said, no. They said, yes, I'm sorry. They pulled up a picture of him on Facebook, and I just kind of jotted his name down, and I started doing some automatic writing, which is just scribbles on a paper, and which is kind of like white noise that goes into the universe. That's how I really like to connect. It's the easiest way for me. And so I all of a sudden I started seeing things. So I saw a pig, and I saw all kinds of different things. Well, Hawaiian for pig is Pua, and this boy's name was Moki Pua. And there was a wild boar everybody's afraid of wild boars because they're so mean and nasty. This wild boar would come out and meet the search group. And so when the wild boar would come down, and so they were like, Faith told me, she said, there's something about a wild boar. And I was like, okay. And I just kept writing. Then I got like this guy with like tattoos all over his face, big gauge ears, all this stuff. I'm like trying to draw what I can draw on there. And then a man with like a mole on his face or a mark on his face. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what all this means. And then I said, well, now what do we do with this information? And so Faye says, well, let me contact the family. So we contact the family on Facebook and just sent them a message. And then I said, well, let's drive out there. I feel like we need to drive out there. Now, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like been raining and everything. Like the whole season was rainy. So we went out there and we pulled off to the side of the mountain where I was feeling nauseous on the freeway. So we went on the freeway. We pulled over on the side of the freeway, and it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm in total overcast. No, you can't see the moon for anything. You can't see nothing. You can't see nothing. It's just hazy, cloudy, just, yucky weather. And I get out and I go where I was feeling nauseous, and I go to the side of the thing, and I said, okay, God, if you want me to help find this boy, show me where he is. And I am not kidding you. Those clouds parted, and all of a sudden the moon shined down in this area so bright. It was huge. And I was like, oh, my goodness. And everybody turned around and looked. Everybody's eyes were like the size of silver dollars. Their mouths were hanging open. And so the next day we went to meet the search group. We got a hold of the family and stuff. The man with the mark on his face was the boy's brother. The tattooed man was a pig hunter from the Big Island that came over there to help on the search. And he had tattoos all over, exactly what I saw. Everything was happening. And then they were like, can you come with us? We're going to go on the helicopter and go up to go see where you're showing us. Come show us where you're seeing it. And I was like, okay. So I went to go get on the helicopter, and right then some girl comes running up and said, there's a sighting on the other side of the mountain. So they jumped into the helicopter. I was like, okay, fine. I said, whatever, And then the helicopter went up, But all of a sudden, this wind came, and they couldn't get the helicopter to go up. They had to ground the helicopter because of the winds, like instantly. So, that spirit saying, no, he's not on that side of the island. He's on this side of the island, that kind of thing, or the mountain, I mean. And so that kind of, after going through the whole experience, I gave up my whole vacation because I had like another week and a half there to help this family. And I became very close with the family and their friends and stuff. They're just amazing people. But the boy never wanted to be found. He's like, tell my dad to go home. I'm part of the mountain. And now the father has passed over, so I know that they're reunited. He's back with his son now, which is just an amazing thing. But, it's just heartache that they were not able to get his body out. But it's only because of the rains and the mud and everything that was happening then. But so then I came home from that and was like, this is a calling. God is putting me on this path for a reason. And so then I kind of went online, and then I found Find Me. And so I wrote up a thing and sent it in. They called me. They tested me on a couple of cases to see, and I was like right on with all of the cases. And so I've been part of Find Me now for 3 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was looking into that a little bit and how to become like a member and help when you have spiritual gifts like that. And I saw the test and I was like, wow, I wonder what that's all about. Like, I've never done a test like that. I know I have gifts and I'm learning more about myself all the time. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous to even try it and see what happens, but I guess you never know till you do.
Well, you know what? What they do is they send you a picture of the person that's missing, and then they give you their full name, and then they give you the address of their last sighting. And they don't really give you any other information than that, and it usually will say the family and friends want to know what happened, to this person, whatever. They don't tell you. If we have to tell them, is the person alive or deceased? We have to tell them the coordinates. So we get on. So I do that. I do my automatic writing, the scribbles on the paper. I get the message from the spirit, and then I go to Google Earth and I put in the address of last sighting. And then I make it so that I can see what the Earth geographical ground looks like. And Spirit shows me what's around him. Whoever, I'm saying him, but it's a lot of times it's women or children, but they'll show me what is around them. And then I kind of look for that geographical thing on Google Maps around the area of the last sighting. And sometimes I can't see anything that I'm seeing. So then I know there's somewhere else. So then I'll kind of, work a little bit farther and see if I see anything that is substantial that can help me to get closer to where this person is. And sometimes, like one case I was doing, I kept seeing a rec center. And then I went to where I saw the rec center, and it was like a total different town from where they said the body was. Where they said the last body was. And I really feel that the body was over there. Now I don't have the confirmation yet back from that case because it takes a long time to process everything, and they can't just, go, oh, I just want to call you up and let you know, you were real good about this or whatever. But they do give props at our meetings twice a year and tell you, kind of, oh, you did a good job or whatever, on different things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our confirmation. But when they do find the bodies, because bodies are found, when they do find the bodies, they say, oh, we found such and such finally. But they don't ever let us know until after the police have done their investigation and everything to make sure that that's really who that person is and stuff.
Yeah, they have to have the due course of a fair trial, and there's certain things that they can't let everybody know until after it's basically closed and done with.
Yes. Absolutely. And with me being military, I'm used to not having the complete answers. It's just, do your job, and then what's going to come of it's going to come of it. And so, and then you see like later, you know, sometimes it's a year later, you get the results and you're like, oh, I'm so glad. Because what happens is when they find the bodies, they say, please go through your stuff and send it to me so that we can go through their file of what they say is around that person and whatever, and then look through your case and see if you match, and then send it so that we can say, look, this person was right here they were good on this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but
yeah, it's good to have, know what the end result is, and if you are actually on track and can trust your abilities, because sometimes you kind of doubt yourself and think maybe I'm trying to mislead myself, and because you always want that positive outcome. I don't know, I always expect the worst because then I won't be let down, but
I know. Well, the first real case that I worked on with Find Me Group was a girl, and I really believed that she was still alive, but other people believed that she was dead. And so I had a very hard time with that, but that was because she was just such a young girl, and she was like the same age as one of my daughters. And so sometimes, we try not to put our emotions into it, but when you're dealing with missing, lost people, and, you just want so much to help that family, to help that soul reconnect with their family, help them get closure, that you put too much into it. And then, that hope and that disappointment of them not taking your word for that case, I can see the difference. But I mean, it's kind of devastating. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I was wrong and they were right. We don't know yet because that person has never been found. So we don't know. But I really still believe the girl's alive.
You think she still is today?
Yeah, I believe she's still alive. I believe that. But see, one of the other psychics who have been doing search and rescue with them for years and years and years said, no, the reason you're feeling this is because they kept her around for a long time. But in my mind's eye, I still see her alive because I still go back to that first case, and I'm like, if you're not here, please just show me you're not here. And I always still see her alive.
Well, that's a good way to see her. So I was
well, excepting that we search for human trafficking. So what I see is her in human trafficking. So,
that's not so good,
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, I just want the girl to be okay.
Yeah, hopefully they can take that lead and find her soon and get her out of that situation, because that's just not a good situation whatsoever. So,
absolutely.
I was really sad to hear about your dad and how he went missing. Is that how you first got interested in the search and rescue and getting into that frame of mind as far as your psychic abilities?
Well, the thing that got me really into it was that first thing that happened in Hawaii. But then when I'm going through and dealing with the family and everything, it just took me right back to my dad being missing. Now, my dad and I were not close. My parents got divorced when I was very young. But that didn't mean that I didn't love my dad. I loved him so much. And I was just starting to rebuild my relationship with him because I was only 24 when he passed away. And I came back into his life when I was about 21. So I really only had 3 good years with my dad. And back in those days, I'm showing my age a little bit, but, long distance phone calls, it's like, you're paying 10 cents a minute to call another state. And so we would talk just real fast, and I would just get his, hear his voice kind of and hear him laugh a little bit. And, so it's not like, or sending letters, you don't hear back for like weeks, because they're going to take time to think about it and read it, and where it's not like texting now. So those 3 years were I mean, it isn't like we were neighbors or anything. He lived in Florida. I lived in Hawaii part of the time. I lived in Arizona part of the time. And so it was like really special that I was starting to reconnect with him, and losing him and not ever being able to find his boat, because he disappeared in the Tampa Triangle.
Yeah,
and
a
he's
lot of people
actually,
were asking, where is that? Is that off of the west side of Florida, or where is that located?
Yes. I'm not sure. I don't know where Tampa is. I'm not from Florida, but my dad is in this book called Tampa Triangle Dead Zone, written by Captain Bill Miller. And it talks about, let's see, it's on page 17 in there, or chapter 1, page 17, and it talks about the sailboat Tiffany Jane, which was my dad's sailboat. And what happened was he was going to go down to the Florida Keys, and he took off, and my stepmom was up. Well, his boat disappeared. There's never been a sighting of his boat since then. This is 1994, so it's been a long time. Still no sighting of his boat, and no sighting of him. He has just completely disappeared. Well, this book, Tampa Triangle, is all the people that are missing in that Tampa Triangle. And I guess it really does form a triangle. I'm like looking through it, I actually have the book in my hand. I'm looking through to see if there's a map in here that shows where the triangle is, but I don't see it. I'll have to slow down and really look through it. But it is. But that is what made me really dive into this, and because I know I was just reconnecting with my dad, and I know how much I want him in my life so that I can get to know him, and he's gone, and there's nothing I can do. I see him as a spirit. I know that he's with me, but it's not like I can get to know him still. It's different. And but that's really what made me start doing this and really make it a passion.
So, do you see him now as still a living person, or do you know he's on the other side? Have you had any sort of idea or closure on his case?
Not on his case, no. The Coast Guard and everybody have gone out there to search for him, but I know he's passed over because I see him as spirit. And at first I used to second guess myself and say, that maybe it's my ego. Maybe it's my ego wanting to see him so much that I see him. But I know that he's at peace because, like I said earlier about the dream state, when you're waking up and you hear your loved ones around you and stuff. And I heard him with my grandmother, and she's like, "Hurry up, Erin, get over here."
Yeah.
She's waking up. So I know for sure, absolutely, that my father is passed over.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I am really glad that you did get to restart that connection with him, and because they are a part of us, and it is important for us to have some sort of relationship, whether good or bad, and it just sucks that it ended on that note, but maybe he went out with his boots on,
Yeah, maybe he did. My stepmom told me one time that she really thought that he had been attacked by pirates, because there are real pirates,
Yeah, and that's what I was seeing in my head was pirates taking over, and they generally kill the person, throw them overboard, and they take the boat into commission, and you never see it again, or never in the manner that it was before. And that's just a visual that I got, and it's scary, but I mean, the seas are a vicious place.
But what's her name? Sylvia Brown. My sister went to Sylvia Brown, and Sylvia Brown said, "I see an explosion on the boat." That she said that she didn't see pirates or anything. She saw an explosion, and she saw him dive off the side. And so, I mean, it's spirit can be interpreted so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you were to look at that, I mean, they give it to you like puzzle pieces. So if what she saw was an explosion on the boat, that doesn't mean that the boat exploded. That could mean that the pirates were there and attacked and blew up the boat. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different things that could mean.
When Sylvia first came out, like, I had a great respect for her, but I know, like, the more you take that monetary in and that's more your focus
Yes.
than the helping others focus, it takes away your gift slowly but surely, and then you have nothing else to work from. And so I don't know if I would, if I would trust that interpretation, or maybe they did and they didn't find what they wanted, and instead of taking the boat back, they blew it up. But
yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. And what you see is what I see, too. I see pirates and stuff.
Mhm.
I see an attack. I don't know if it's pirates, but I see an attack. And I see the boat being pieced apart. But I was told by my stepmother, who talked to the Navy, the Coast Guard about it and stuff, because they had the Coast Guard searching and everything. But the Coast Guard said that when you have parts like that, that if your boat goes into decommission, the parts are looked at and they're all labeled like car parts. Like they have what are those things called, VLN or whatever, the VIN numbers on all of the parts. So they said if his parts come through, then we'll know that it is, you know, pirates or somebody who has, you know, come and taken the boat and disassembled it and everything and sold it for parts. But then they also take the boats to like Cuba and stuff. They take the boats away and then they use them in other waters, which nobody even suspects or looks into. So there's so many different views there.
Yeah, there are, and there's so many different variations, and, you know, everybody speaks of the internet and all this new technology as the dark web, but in a way, like, it's not so bad you can't hide from it. If you're not doing wrong, you shouldn't have to hide from it, and I find comfort in, we do now have new relations with that country. We can find out more, help them more. Maybe they can get some new cars because they've been driving classic cars around forever, but eventually...
I know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's like a retro feeling, but, you know, eventually the truth does come out in one way or another, and I know someday you will know, and you'll have that final closure, and, you know, sometimes our loved ones take time to get back to us, and, you know, do that final meeting. Maybe it's just not time yet, you know?
Yes, and I can't read for myself, so it's not like I can just go, okay, Dad, let me see, you know, show me something. It isn't like that, because then you're using ego because you're wanting it so bad. So
yeah,
it's not something that I can do for myself to get that closure, but I'm really happy I can do it for other people.
I've actually had the experience, like, I can give everybody the best advice for them, and I can give myself the same, but I don't trust it. But there's so many times that I look back and see it. I used to do tarot cards all the time, and one of the last readings I did was when my 18-year-old daughter was not even conceived yet, and I was showing her, I refer to him as the donor because he's never been a part of her life, but I was doing a reading, and I'm like, this is just an example, but it told me everything to the exact point of what was going to happen, but I just shrugged it off because I said this is an example, so I didn't take it so serious as, you know, I'm going to do a reading on myself. But if we could just listen to ourselves and trust ourselves and know we want the best for ourselves. We're not really trying to misguide ourselves to see the sunnier picture. You know, we want the best outcome. I don't know.
Absolutely. But sometimes we want the best outcome so much that we don't see the truth, you know, when it comes to ourselves.
Yeah, because you want to see that better perspective or whatever. But as I look back, I see I was right. I should have listened to myself. So I take that.
If I do tarot cards, if I do tarot cards, I can get my own message, but that's using another device than my own site. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit different because tarot cards are using a different device, so tarot cards are going to be able to tell you about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I do tarot cards for myself also.
Yeah. I had to put my foot in my mouth because I was like, you just said doo-doo. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised I haven't used a bad word, so I've been really good here. So doo-doo's a good thing.
Yeah. Very proud of you because that's one of our things. We can't curse on the air. It's different than TV where they could say all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I saw also in your bio and just looking into you that you mentor psychic mediums. How exactly can we tap into our psychic abilities and build upon it if we were muffled by parents or people raising us and that door was shut? How do we rebuild and gain that momentum?
Well, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of work on your side. So, like, when people come to me and they're like, Dawn, I really, either I'm going crazy, they'll say, I'm going crazy, I don't know what's going on, and they'll be super emotional, and they're like, I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things, I know stuff is going on, I'm getting dreams, whatever, and then I'll be like, okay, let's kind of, take a step back. Let's kind of piece this apart and figure out what their goal is. Do they want to just develop their gift, or do they want to make it a business? What is their goal? And then I take it from there and I say, okay, this is going to be a slow process because there's so many different aspects and every single person is different. So the way that I use my gifts would maybe be completely different from the way you use your gifts. Like one of my mentor students he is so amazing. But what he gets is he gets these pulses of energy. I don't get that. So it's really hard for me to kind of understand it. And I worked with him. I've been working with him for about 6 months or so. And he has developed amazingly. But a lot of it is going home, mentoring. Meditating, grounding yourself, getting, practicing different things. And so, like, I taught him how to use tarot cards correctly. I taught him how to do automatic writing. I taught him how to, work on the vibrations of opening his third eye. I taught him how to ground himself. And all of these things are so important to use your gift, but maybe I know automatic writing is my vice. That is my way to connect clearly. I know that if I'm scribbling on a piece of paper, that white noise that I put out there is going to give me the clear answers that I need back. Spirit will come through that. Whereas with him, he did really good with the tarot cards. He did really good with other things, but his thing is more of this pulses. And I told him, I said, you know what? I really believe that you should use this for a healing thing. So maybe you need to go talk to somebody who's a Reiki master and go that venue and allow me to help you on the medium side because I don't know anything about the pulses, the energy pulse thing. And so since everybody is different, what I do is I say, okay, so this may be this way for me and this may be this way for you, but I'm going to teach you every single thing that I know. And then we're going to figure out which way works the best for you. And then we're going to grow on that to help you grow your gift, if that makes sense to you.
Well, yeah. You kind of, there's different levels where everybody has to start. Everybody's in a different place and nobody's the same and different energies, different medicine, different techniques. It just takes a little something to get that going.
Absolutely.
So we have 2 more minutes before we go to break. Would you like to share your website and stuff again? And then I can give out the phone number for people to call in for their live reading.
My website is dhwixsite.com/Dawn-Hiruko. It's so long. I went with a free website because I keep my prices really low so that people can come to me. That like I'm not going to exploit my gifts by charging extreme amounts. So I keep my prices pretty low, so I don't pay for my web page and stuff like that. So I recommend you just look me up, just put in Dawn Hiruko, Psychic Medium, and my web page will come up and find me that way.
That's awesome, and thank you so much for all the information you shared with us these first 2 hours of the show. Just so everybody knows, you can put your questions to Dawn on the Spreaker chat. I've been trying to find Twitter, but I'm not finding anybody saying anything, and I think I need to look on another place in Facebook to find everybody. I'm kind of lost and strolling around there, but the phone number is 970-335-9596. 970-335-9596. So write that down and give us a call when you guys are ready to call in for your free psychic reading with Dawn Hiruko. We'll be back in just a minute. You guys don't go anywhere.
The first annual Caribou Paracon is happening September 28th to 30th in the 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia. Brought to you by the Canadian Society of Questers and Spaced Out Radio. Come listen to our featured speaker, Grant Cameron, along with Elizabeth Anglin, Paisley Town, Mike Moran, Eric Cooper, and more. It's a 3-day supernatural adventure at the Spruce Hills Resort and Spa. Tickets for the weekend are $150 Canadian. The Caribou Paracon, celebrating everything paranormal.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Not ready for bed on Saturday night? Right after Spaced Out Saturdays, hop on over to S4 with Corey Ruiz and me, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. With S4, there are no limits to what we try and uncover. From government conspiracies to helping clean up the paranormal, no topic is safe on S4. We get to the heart of the matter, of the subjects you want to learn more about. So tune in on S4 starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, only on spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and I want you to come on a nightly journey. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, every Monday through Friday, you can come hang out with me and the other space travelers. We have it all from Carl the Alien bouncing on by to those misfit gnomes causing havoc. It's 3 hours of fun and entertainment on those topics the mainstream really doesn't want to touch. Come get all paranormal with us at spacedoutradio.com, and together, my friends, along with our resident guitar god Bumblefoot, we own the night.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We're lighting the void on Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, this is Joe Roop, and I'm hanging out in SOR headquarters every Saturday night, bringing you the latest news when it comes to the weird and strange. Bigfoot, occult, UFOs, ghosts, and everything in between, I got you covered. You can tune in to spacedoutradio.com starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time. Come travel into the void with us on Spaced Out Saturdays.
Tonight's show and topic of discussion do not necessarily reflect the opinion of Spaced Out Radio, SOR Media, or its hosts. Listener discretion is advised. Here comes the second hour of Spaced Out Sunday with host Tessa Nicole Thomas. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. And you can follow Tessa on Twitter at TessaTNT. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back. So great to have you for the third hour. This is Tessa Nicole Thomas, Tessa TNT on Twitter, and we're back with Dawn. Dawn is a psychic medium, and we're doing live readings this hour. Phone number 970-335-9596. Please give it a little while because we have a little backup right now. But keep that number and I'll let you know when to call in. Dawn, welcome back.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, so
I have my paper ready for automatic writing.
That's so interesting. I have never tried that technique, and I'm not sure if I want to add that to my repertoire just yet. Okay. So the first number I have is 1-602-432-4740. Caller, what's your name?
Yeah, hi. I'm Joel, and I know Dawn. She has worked with me in mentoring, so I just wanted to call in and just let everybody know just what a wonderfully beautiful person Dawn is inside and out, and just I couldn't be more.
Aww.
and I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more grateful to anybody that I've met in a long time, as I am grateful to Dawn. So, just wanted to say thank you, Dawn.
Thank you. You made me cry. I can't believe you did that. You're so sweet. Thank you so much, Joel. And you're so amazing. Joel is the one I was talking about earlier about the pulses, and he is just an amazing person, an amazing medium. He's got so much positive energy. You're such a blessing, Joel, to be around. And I'm honored to know you.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Wow, thank you. That really means a lot coming from you. And I did call in for just a quick question.
Okay.
And it is about a relationship question, just about I'm in a current relationship, and just is that a good relationship for me or a bad relationship for me?
It's a good relationship. When are you going to ask her to marry you? Because she is amazing for you. She is wonderful, and your guys' energy together is so good. You guys balance each other out so well. I think that if you let this one get away, Joel, you'll be looking back and just regretting that for the rest of your life. She's really a good girl. She really is. You'll be looking back and just regretting that for the rest of your life. She's really a good girl. She really is.
Hello?
All right, hold on. I'm having a tech issue here. Trying to get back.
No problem. Don't say my number in total out loud, though.
Okay.
Just so nobody stalks me.
Dawn, are you there? Hold on. Dawn, can you hear me? Holy shnikes.
Something
All
I
right.
did this kind of thing. Tess, are you there?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I lost you guys for a second.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to swear, but I was like, what's going on?
I know, I was like, holy shnikes, where the heck am I? I lost them, and I kept pressing resume call, and nothing was happening, and then there's like this little window at the top, and I'm like, oh, there it is. But it was so nice of your friend to call in, and I loved his energy. He was awesome.
Oh, he is so amazing. And you know what? If he does put a ring on that girl's finger, she is freaking going to be the most luckiest girl in the world, because he's going to cherish her and just treat her like gold. He's got a good heart.
So our next call comes from a 480 area code.
Okay.
Who are we speaking with? 480-225?
That's me.
Oh. All right. 480-766.
Yes, hi. My name is Marie. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Marie. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? I've enjoyed the interview so far.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to hear from you.
I have a question for you. I was wondering if you could connect with my birth mother and tell me how she passed.
Okay, just a moment here. Just a second here. I'm seeing a lady. She's got dark brown hair, kind of has some wave going through it. Now, they always show themselves the way that they look the best. So she's showing herself to be probably like 52, around there. She's got some gray going through her temples. Seeing brown glasses. Now, is this your mother? Is that what your mother looked like?
Yes.
Okay, and what is her name?
Marie. Also, Marie.
Oh, Carl, she's going to be named after your mommy. Hold on just a second here. Yes, she's with you. She's, how does she pass? Hold on just a second. I'm feeling cancer or heart. Did your mom have cancer by chance?
No, she didn't.
Okay, then your mom had a heart attack then, because I'm feeling pain in my shoulder as I'm connected with her. So that can only, the way that I'm feeling it is in the back of my shoulder, of my right shoulder, and that can only be cancer or heart. So I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry, but your mom had a heart attack. Can you tell me anything about what you know so that I can get confirmation, because she's not releasing this from me? Do you know was there anything to do with traumatic situations in that?
There was a traumatic situation, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, because she didn't release it when I said heart, so I knew it was something else. Hold on just a moment. Let me just make sure here. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Okay. Was your mom found at home, at her house, or at an apartment complex?
I'm not sure, possibly.
Okay, because possibly apartment or possibly at home, or did she live in an apartment?
I don't know where she was living at the time of her death. I know the cause of her death, but I don't know where she was living.
Okay, so what I'm seeing and what she's showing me is I'm seeing some pill bottles there, and I'm also seeing a man there. Oh goodness, I really am sorry, but I really believe that and it's lifting now that I'm saying this, but I really believe that there was some kind of attack there. Oh my, it's either an attack or it was a passing of pills. It's gone. It was the pills. So do you know if your mom took medication?
No, she did not.
Okay, so I'm seeing pills. So do you know if there was somebody else that could have given her pills that could have caused her to be sick, that could cause her to get a heart attack and pass? Because it has something to do with pills. I definitely see a pill bottle. I'm also seeing an apartment complex, and I'm seeing a man. And I really believe that she was given something that caused a heart attack, and that's why she passed. But I do see some physical abuse there also.
I was told that she died of a gunshot to the head.
Okay, so traumatic death is my shoulder, which I said earlier in the show. Traumatic death is in my shoulder. Now, if she had a gunshot to the head, and I'm so sorry, please understand, I'm so sorry, because that is like the worst thing that anybody can ever imagine happening to their mom. But if I'm seeing a pill bottle, I'm seeing a man, and I'm feeling this traumatic death, it could have been the man that was taking the pills that caused this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I don't know if the shot to the head was suicide or if she was murdered.
I believe she was murdered. Now,
okay.
Is this a still ongoing investigation?
No, I'm adopted, and this is regarding my birth mother, and all that they have told me is that she died in 1975 of a gunshot to the head. And I don't know if it was suicide or murder, and that's really what I was...
I'm telling you right now, Marie, it was not suicide. It was not. And your mom is telling me it was not suicide. She is showing me a pill bottle. She's showing me a man. A man hurt her, and she's showing me that not only was it a gunshot, but there was also more trauma done. And so I'm so sorry. This is just really horrible news, but it kind of is also closure for you to know that your mom didn't kill herself. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Mostly to find out if there was a family history of depression.
Yes. Well, everybody can kind of have moments of depression, but I don't see that there. I see a man attacking her, so I know that this is not a suicide thing. But I I am feeling like there's an addiction there. Did your mom drink or smoke?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So this probably that I'm feeling and everything has to do with the person who shot her. And so what Spirit is doing is showing me what your mom is doing is she is showing me who hurt her and how, and I actually can give you the description. I just don't know if it would be okay to do it on here. But what I'll do is right now I'll just write it down on a piece of paper. I'm online and you can text me up on my webpage and I will.
I'm actually your friend on Facebook, Dawn.
You are okay. I'm sorry. I just am going by the voice and everything. So okay, so
I live in Santan Valley.
Okay, so just contact me, private message me on Facebook, and I will tell you exactly what I'm seeing. Okay, I just don't want to be too graphic on here. You're welcome.
That's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great evening.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello. All right, so our next caller is 1-402-214. What's your name?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, it's Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I was hoping you could connect with my son. I would love to get a message from him.
Did you say Karen or Sharon?
Sharon.
Sharon.
Will you spell it for me, please?
SHARON.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm seeing a man. He's got medium brown hair. Now, did your son pass away? What I'm seeing is I'm seeing kind of a tall, skinny man with brown hair, parted on the side, kind of little sideburns. The clothes I'm seeing him wearing is kind of like early 90s clothes. How long ago did your son pass away?
He in 2004.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I am seeing him here. Okay, so what do you want to know about your son?
I don't want to know anything about his passing. I just wondered if he had any messages for me.
Okay, can I have his name, please?
Jared.
Jared, hold on just a moment, please. Okay, I want you to know that he is saying that I'm always with you. He loves you very much. He wants you to know that, he wants you to know that he sends you feathers. You must find feathers everywhere because I've seen just feathers falling everywhere. Like he's showing them just coming down. So I know that he sends you feathers. Those are letting you know that he's with you. He also, there's something about, now, was he cremated or was he buried? Because there's something about a shelf that has a picture on it, and I'm seeing like it's either an urn or a box on it, and it's got some engraving on it. So was he buried or was he cremated?
He was buried.
Okay, so you must have something at your house then that you have set up for him like a memorial in your home. Because he's showing me this, and I'm seeing it on a shelf. Yes, and you go by and you touch that picture and you talk to him. Oh, he wants you to know that he's hearing you talk to him also, and you're talking to him when you're you're talking to him when you're using the restroom. But he wants you to know that he is not able to hear you because you're thinking it, and he can't really hear you. He wants you to speak out so that he can hear you.
Really?
Yes. Huh. And he is saying that he loves you very, very much and that he's with you. And he also is now, does he have a brother? Is there another boy? Or does he have a son?
I have a grandson now.
You have, okay. He wants you to know that he is watching over this child. And he says that this is such a blessing, and he is so happy that this child is in your guys' lives. It's going to be a very special child, and he is watching over that child, and he is blessing that child, and he wants you to know that. And he also wants to thank you, too. He's sending through a message of thanks, and he's almost got me crying here because he is just sending through so much love. I'm just overwhelmed with love right now. And he just wants you to know that he is with you, and he just loves you dearly, and he's just so grateful for everything that you've done for him in your life and also after his passing.
Not enough. Nowhere near enough.
No. Well, he doesn't agree with you. He thinks that you're the most amazing mom ever.
Yeah, well, I think he's the most amazing son ever.
Yes, of course, of course.
I'm having trouble with his sister.
With his sister?
Yeah, we're a very close family. I was a single mom, and she's far away from me, and so I haven't gotten to see her, and it's just
Does she have dark brown hair? Does she have dark brown hair with curls?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
he did when he was little. But no.
When he was here on Earth, she's blonde, huh? Hold on a second, because he was showing me a girl with dark brown hair. So just a second here. She's a blonde. And she lives. Where does she live at? What's the water that's around her?
New York.
Because I'm seeing water all around her, so that would make sense for that. He just wants you to know that he's with her. He says to kind of take a step back. Oh, you already did take that step back. Time will take its time. Will happen. You'll go through time, and then you guys will mend. You guys are going to mend, and he is making that bridge for you. So you don't have to worry so much about that relationship right now. I would continue to send her birthday cards and Christmas cards and all of that stuff, and let her know that you're open to communicating and open to rebuilding the relationship by just saying, I'm here and I'm thinking about you and I love you. And you don't have to say anything else than that. And as she receives these messages over time, it's going to start to soften her heart a little bit. But a lot of this stuff is because of grieving, and we all grieve in different ways. And her way is kind of to just shut down and just kind of block people out of her life, which is just really sad.
Well, she's not, I don't know, we might, I don't know. I talk to my daughter almost every day. And we tell each other we love each other every day. So that's not it. It's the distance. I just haven't seen her. I have a grandson I've never met. We live because we don't have the finances.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and money is really bad. So I don't know if he sees anything better coming.
Hold on just a second. Well, I see you guys getting together. Getting together, and I'm hearing the number 2. So I believe you guys are going to reconnect within the next 2 years. Well, 2 could be 2 months. It could be 2 days, but 2 weeks, But I'm seeing the number 2 from him. So I know it's going to be, one of those 2 days, 2 months, 2 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for calling in. And I hope this was...
Yeah, thanks for...
yes, thank you, Sharon.
Can I ask you, did you see him? Do you see my son?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
you
described
did.
him to you. Yes. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Me too. I'm sorry for him, too.
Yeah. But you don't have to be sorry for him. He's good. He is absolutely at peace, and he's with you, and he's with his sister. and he's with the baby, and so, you know, he's not in a bad place. I mean, he's not here with us where we can wrap our arms around him and give him love, but he is there, and he is happy, and he is at peace, and he's with our Heavenly Father, you know, so you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah. It's just sad when the life is taken away, you know.
Yes, it's horrible, and I really understand. I really, really do.
Thank you, honey.
Have a good night, Char.
You're welcome. You too.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, next we have a question from the Elite Robin. He says...
The Elite Robin?
Yeah. Robin.
Okay.
And he is asking, there is a wrestling group called The Elite. I am wondering if I will meet them and be elite.
Okay, but I didn't hear what you said before. I didn't hear the beginning of that sentence. It said something about there is an elite something, and I want to know if I'll be the elite.
Yeah. There is a wrestling group called The Elite. I am wondering if I will meet and be elite.
Did you say wrestling?
Yes.
Okay. I always go to gymnastics because my daughter was a gymnast, and so I'm like, elite. Okay, I've got it. Hold on just a moment. Does it say anything else about his age?
It doesn't.
Okay, hold on just a second here. It all depends on him. He has to really put in that time and that work, and I see that he gets frustrated once in a while. So to the Elite Robin, it is time for you to stop sitting back, and I see that you're really putting a lot into this now, but it has to be a driving force. That's everything that you do. You have to give up your social life and kind of everything to meet that goal. So if you want to do this, it's up to you, and you do have that ability to meet that goal, but you have to put yourself on that path, and you have to really push yourself through, and you have to always, think positive. There's a book out there called Mind Game, Mindgame, and it talks about positive thinking and how that can affect you. If you get out on that wrestling mat and you got in your mind something, maybe negative happened to you that day, and you're like, oh great, I'm probably going to lose this because my mom scolded me or whatever. If you have that in your mind frame, you're going to lose that match. So you have to constantly be feeding yourself positivity and go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to win this. I'm going to do good. I'm going to do my best. And that's going to put you on that right path to continue down. And you will meet that goal, but it has to be you that pushes all that way. And you can't rely on anybody else to do it for you.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Next, we have a call from 1-360-429. Who are we speaking with?
This is Yvonne. Aloha.
Hi, Yvonne. Aloha.
Hi, Yvonne. Hi. First thing I wanted to say was, first thing when I heard your last name, Hiruko, I thought you were Japanese.
My husband is Japanese. Everybody asks me that. How do you get that last name? I'm like, it's the ring on my finger.
Yeah, because the people in the group were saying, well, she doesn't look Japanese, but I said, but that's a Japanese name.
But you know what, Yvonne, though? All of my husband's family says, Dawn, you were Japanese in your past life, because I'll tell you what, I'll go after that pokey like nobody's business. And I'll go after that, or I'll go after some salami. So,
right. Well, my question might be a little weird, because as you know, the first part of your discussion, you were talking. But my question is, because you guys were talking about ghosts and spirits and all that, and my question is, before I came back to this life, so to speak, did I set strict protocols on the exercise of my gifts?
Okay, hold on just a moment. I don't think that you had strict protocols for your gifts. No, I think that everybody is born with gifts. It's just everybody is different. So I don't think that you asked that right. I mean, I don't say it. I don't think you asked that right, but I'm saying that I don't think that there was strict protocol before.
Okay. Yeah, because what I'm saying is I deal with higher entities, but I've never had the experience of ghosts and things. Is it because, like, I transitioned so many people? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That could be because, you know, when I see spirits, I don't see them like ghosts like other people can see. Everybody's different. Right. And so, you know, your gift is different from my gift probably. It sounds like we're kind of on the same page. But if I'm seeing it, like when I did that one house blessing where I actually saw the ghost, I kind of got scared, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm seeing it differently than how I normally do. And I just got this strength, you know, and I was like, you need to leave. I'm like, get out now, you know, and, you know, cleanse that area, bless that area in God's name and all that. But I think that everybody is different, and I think some people see him that way, and I see some people see him the way we see him. So I think it just really depends, and it does not have to do with a predestined, you know, you didn't decide or agree on anything when you came into this body.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because the more the entities I deal with, I interact with them, and they usually want, like, to be healed in some way.
Yes. Now, see, are you a healer, or do you do Reiki and stuff like that?
Well, I found out that I have shamanic heritage in my family. And so when I went to try to study under Akumu, he says, Yvonne, you don't have to spend a penny. You just got to remember. You know?
That's smart. I like
that.
That's really
so
smart.
I do, and I noticed that even in nursing, I was doing techniques, you know what I mean, where I later learned in actuality are pressure points. And I can also put them, because I worked in an intensive care, so I dealt with people, you know, dying and stuff or suffering. And so, you know, I could also take them and put them into a trance of imagery and things. I could take them somewhere else.
Oh, I love that. I love
you know
that.
what I mean?
I wonder if that, yes, I love that. I wonder if that's something that my one client, Joel, the one with the pulses, I wonder if he would be able to do that. Now, that's not something that I would be able to do because I don't have that ability. I can only feel things and tell them I'm feeling this. But for you to be able to do that, I have to tell you, that's just amazing.
Well, yeah, because recently people now, all they have to do is stand next to me, and they feel like I'm working on them.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah. So but anyway, Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, I just was saying, I just was going to ask if that is an empath ability, you know, do you understand that to be an empath ability, that you're maybe instead of feeling it, you're giving it?
No, I mean, I used, in my younger age, I was empathic, which got me totally screwed up.
That's a normal thing.
Well, thanks so much for calling in, Yvonne. I hope, you know, Dawn was a help to you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Aloha, Hawaii. I love all of you guys so much.
I think got cut off because usually there's a nice goodbye.
Another person? She might have got cut off. She was such a doll. Oh, my goodness. She's so cute.
She is. I love her energy. The next number I have...
I can see her.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The next number we have is 1425761. Who are we speaking with?
Yeah, it's Robin. I just have one more short question.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm a paranormal investigator. So, I'm wondering if my mentor, Ross Allison, will let me go on on his paranormal paranormal investigation in July.
Hold on just a second here. There's something going on there. It's like an iffy thing. There's something going on there with it. The only way that you're going to go on this is if somebody else doesn't go. And I see that he's kind of toying with the idea between two different people. And I think it has to do with their time and what their schedules are saying. So I think that if you're going to go on this with him, I can't give you a yes or no right at this moment because it is depending, because that decision isn't made up with the other people, with this other man. But I do see you doing investigations. I'm just not sure if it's going to be this one or not. But I am seeing you doing investigations. And you know what? It's really cool. You're going to have a good time doing that. I mean, and once you get in there and you start doing this with this person, I see your world kind of opening up. So I don't know if you're famous doing that already or if, but there's something going to happen with this. It's going to take off for you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for calling. Tess?
Yeah.
I really think he's going to go on that, though. I see it, but I was so afraid to say, yes, he's going to do it, because there's so much going on with this other person in their decision-making thing. I'm seeing, like, this triangle thing. So I was so afraid to say yes, because if I say yes, which is what I see him doing, then he's going to get his hopes up. And then if it's let down because the guy changed his mind or something. But I just wanted to kind of throw that in there.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have hope, and it really hurts when it gets broken or dropped or whatever, but he'll recover and he'll just come back stronger if it goes the other way. But
yeah,
I think he has it within him.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I do too. I see him doing it, so I really believe that he is going to. I just don't know if what I'm seeing is that exact investigation.
So Andy was asking, does my dad have a message for me? I miss him very much.
Okay, hold on a second. Andy. Okay. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing a man. He's kind of a bigger man, a little bit bald on top, kind of light brown with maybe a little bit of red in that hair there, fair skin. Hold on a second. Now I'm not sure if this is his dad or his uncle or his grandfather, but I know that this man is connected to him. But he is saying to let him know that, hold on just a second here. There's something about coins. I think that he's sending him coins. So I would say if you're finding coins, those coins are from your dad. Stick them in a jar. They're pennies from heaven. They're not just pennies. I'm seeing like silver. So I think it's going to be like quarters and dimes and stuff like that. But you can pick them up even if they're not heads up. And even if it's a penny and it's not heads up, it's not going to give you bad luck. But those are pennies from heaven, and he is saying, pick them up. I'm sending these to you. And I'm not sure, but I have a feeling there's something to do with money going on with Andy, and I think his dad is saying, I'm trying to help you as much as I can from heaven, that kind of thing. But he is definitely with you, Andy. I just want you to know your dad is definitely with you. He loves you very, very, very much. And I don't know if you know this or not, but he is saying, you're kind of his rock. He looks up to you a lot. So he wants you to know that and to own that. Anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Andy, for the question, and I hope you got an answer there. The next one we had is from Pieter. Pieter.
From who? Can you tell me again?
It's like P-I-E-T-E-R. Eter, like Peter, but with an I. Peter.
Okay.
Okay.
It's. Why are you laughing? What does it say?
He says, Dawn, can you tell if I was abducted last month? If so, who was it and what was the purpose?
Hold on just a second. Oh my goodness. Abducted. I'm not seeing an abduction. I'm so sorry. I am not seeing an abduction. But what is weird, though, what I am seeing is I'm seeing kind of a jail cell or something. And that is just the weirdest thing. And I feel that for some reason it has something to do with those, you know, back in the day they used to arrest people and then you'd go and you'd have to like make phone calls to earn money for different things. So I don't believe that you were abducted, but there's something to do with maybe, I don't know if you do fundraising or something like that, but that's what I'm seeing is some kind of fundraising or something. So if you were abducted by a fake arrest or something for a fundraiser, then that's what it's about. But I don't see an abduction like from aliens. I don't see that. Thank you so much. Tess,
Yeah,
do
well,
you
I
see
guess
an
that's...
abduction there?
No, I wasn't getting anything on that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't get anything about the abduction, but I did see a jail cell.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means.
Well, Rick was asking, should I have my surgery, Rick, R-I-C-K?
Okay, Rick.
Should I have my surgery local or further afield, like not local but 100 miles away, etc.? Different surgeons,
okay,
hospitals.
Just a moment here. Does it say where he's from? Does he give any kind of geographical information?
I believe he's overseas. Let me see. Not seeing anything. And there is about a 20-second delay, so it might be a few seconds before we hear back. Rick, where are you from? The UK.
The UK, just a moment here. Rick, I see you going somewhere. I see you traveling for this surgery. I don't believe that it's like anything very far away, but I do see you traveling for the surgery, and I see it being a little bit of a problem that you have to go. I don't know if it's the care that you've got to get afterwards, you know, maybe family members having to come and drive to go and see you or to take care of you or something like that. And I see that that's the problem. But I think that if you were to have it done locally, you're not going to have the results that you want. You have to travel. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, that's good advice, and it's always good to get more than one diagnosis because, you know.
Yes.
The more on one
absolutely.
side, the better you can go from there. Yeah.
Yes, and I really will keep you in my prayers. Say a prayer to Archangel Raphael. He is the angel of healing, the archangel of healing, and ask him to wrap his wings around you and fill you with his white light and help to heal you, you know, and hopefully that can help you too. I totally believe in the healing of Archangel Raphael, and I really always tell people to turn to the archangels because they're there for us and they just want to help us in any way that they can.
Sweet. Next we have Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. Is she online? Or
she is. She's in the Spreaker chat room.
Oh, hi, Sandra.
And she says, I felt like I was jumped after a ghost box session. What was that? If you have time.
She felt like she was, I'm sorry, she felt like she was jumped in a what?
We have on SOR a ghost box session at least once a month or a great while, and after she partook of that, she felt like she was jumped spiritually.
Oh, okay. What happened was you were not grounded when you were in that chat room or whatever, and a spirit saw you and was attracted to you, like how we were talking about earlier, pure souls, yummy kind of thing. And so what happened is when you were in that chat thing and you got done, you were feeling the energy from the spirits that were invoked into that. It could also be that you're feeling the energy left over from what you put into that too. But you're okay, and I would recommend that you get grounded. Go on YouTube and download a grounding video. There's one that has like this. Just go look, and it's going to say Deborah Maldonado. I don't know this woman, but man, I love this video. And her name is Deborah Maldonado, Debra, and it'll be a golden Buddha face. So put Deborah Maldonado grounding techniques, and that Buddha face will come up. Takes 10 minutes only, and you will be able to release anything that you pick up in those kind of situations. Also, next time you go and you're getting involved in that, protect yourself. Carry some obsidian with you, or some black kyanite, or something like that, selenite, and that way the spirits, the negative spirits and stuff are attracted to that instead of you, and that it will help protect you. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, thanks, Sandra. That was good advice. Thanks, Dawn.
You're welcome. Thank you.
No worries. So next we have the Elite Robin once more, and he's wondering...
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin. I need to know if my seizures will get better soon.
Okay. And that's why this person is having the problems with wondering about being the elite. I do see that you're going to have oh man, seizures are something that are just so hard to diagnose and so hard to tell. Like, you could have really good periods and then all of a sudden have seizures. And this is going to be something that is a lifelong thing for you. And I want to tell you, yes, but that explains so much why you're wondering if you're going to reach that elite status. And that also explains why Spirit is showing me that you have to put in your time and not focus on other things. So maybe not focus so much on the seizures and focus more on what you need to do what you got to do to achieve your goal. But I do, unfortunately, see the seizures as a lifelong thing. Hopefully we'll be able to come up with something scientifically that can help people with seizures. I know a lot of people that have them. My grandmother got seizures all the time, and it's just devastating, the effect that it has on people. Not just the effect of the seizure, but how you feel afterwards, and how you're afraid of how other people view you. And people that get seizures also and people that have epilepsy too, people that have this kind of thing, they're so afraid of letting other people know it because they're so afraid that they're going to be discounted, because of it. But I just want you to know, nobody can stop you from what you're doing. The seizures can't stop you. If you have a mind frame to go and achieve your goals, you're going to achieve them in spite of that. Instead, and you know what I mean? Instead of allowing it to hold you back, it's in spite of those, you achieve your goals. And if seizures are something that really affects you so much that you can't go on. You do your best because there is a reason that you're doing that. And maybe it's not to achieve that elite goal. Maybe it's more to be the role model for other people that do get seizures and need to, and I'm getting a little bit emotional because I want you to know how dear that question is to my heart. But I want you to know that I see you as later becoming the spokesperson where people can look up to you and say, look, he's had this struggle or she's had this struggle for so long and just wants to, become this elite athlete. Well, you did what you can do, and then now you're helping other people to see the good in that too. And I really hope that this helps you, but I just want you to know that I think you're amazing for everything that you're doing. Keep going. Please don't let these seizures stop you. Don't let them make you feel less than who you are, because you're just an amazing person on your own. And I really feel your positive energy and I feel your hope. So I just want you to know that I'm going to keep you in my prayers, okay? I just want you to know that.
And also, I had a little bit to add to that.
Awesome.
CBD is really awesome when it comes to Parkinson's and MS and people and children who have seizures. And it's not only derived from cannabis, but now it's derived from hemp. And it doesn't give you, the high effect or anything like that. It just gives you the medicinal stuff, and it actually stops seizures. So, Robin, I recommend if you have any access to that or you have a doctor, let him know that you'd like to try that, because I think that will just turn your life around and you'll be back on track and ready to kick some booty in the ring.
Absolutely. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I was in a really, really bad horseback riding accident 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, and I can tell you 100% I am absolutely prescription free of opiates because of CBD oil and medical marijuana. So
I didn't even know that. That's so awesome.
Yes, I have a plate and 9 screws holding me together. I was in a wheelchair for 6 months. I was supposed to be in it for 8 months, but I worked my butt off to get out of that. And I've only been walking without a cane for probably 4 months on an everyday basis. So CBD oil and medical marijuana is amazing, amazing. And I don't feel pain and I sleep well.
Yeah, that's awesome. It does. I could go through so many diseases that it helps, and afflictions and stuff like that. And I do believe God put every seed, herb, and plant on this earth for us to use, and there's nothing wrong with it if you're using it in the right way. And
yes.
I've seen so many benefits, and kids that were on the track of dying because they have these seizures so often and so intensely, and there's no remedy, and then they give them the CBD oil, and it's just gone. And it, maybe it takes a little bit to taper down, but it does immediately. They even showed a guy on there, and I think it was cerebral palsy, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was seizing up so badly, and he took a couple drops of the oil, and right after that he was calm and fine, and he had his mind together, and it was just amazing to see.
Yes, that's so wonderful. But please talk to your doctor, though. Please talk to your doctor, because we don't know you, and we don't know if you're having allergies or anything like that. So just talk to your doctor before you do anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Make sure you talk to your doctor if you have one, and I'm sure you do, because you're going through these issues.
Yes. And if your doctor doesn't even want to discuss CBD oils, then find a new doctor that's willing to listen to you and get the answers that you need. So. because it should be something that you can discuss.
That's awesome. Well, he says thanks, and I hope that helps.
You're welcome. And I will keep you in my prayers, Robin. I have a huge prayer list, and I go right down it with all these different people's names, and I am going to keep you in there, and I will send you healing white light. And ask Archangel Raphael, who's another one, pray to Archangel Raphael and ask him to bless you and to heal you and help you so that you don't have these seizures when you're wrestling, and hopefully, that you'll be able to go on. But that also makes sense of why I was seeing so much struggle getting to that goal, and that really did make sense. And I am so glad that he wrote back and gave us more information.
So we only have 2 more minutes left before the end of the show. Is there anything significant you'd like to share with everyone?
I just want everybody to know that I really, really, truly appreciate you listening to me and Taz, and I also really appreciate, anything that, having you guys in my life means so much to me, and if I can help you in any way, I want to. And I really believe that God has given me this gift to help you. He hasn't given me this gift to be selfish and exploit it. And that's why I'm here on this earth. This is my goal. This is what I live for. And I am only here to help you. And so I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you, and I really do keep all of you in my prayers, and I am here to help you. And thank you. Okay, hi, Jamie. She knows me from softball? Is that what she said? Oh, Jamie. Aloha, honey. Okay, your sister. Hold on just a second. Okay. Oh, sweetheart. I want you to know that your sister is with you all the time. She loves you so much. There's something to do with flowers. And I'm not seeing ladies. I'm not seeing like orchids and stuff like that. I'm seeing like bright yellow flowers. And so I really believe that what she's saying is something to do about fields of flowers, happiness, love. She is so happy, and she is just such a beautiful blessing. And I'm seeing long, beautiful hair, just a gorgeous girl. And I'm feeling so much love, and she's making me choke up. But I just want you to know you are loved, you are special, and your sister is with you, and she just adores you. And she wants to also tell you, thank you so much for asking about her, and thank you so much for talking to her and for remembering her, because you constantly are putting her in your thoughts, in the things that you do through the day and stuff. And you know that when you're doing something fun, that she's enjoying it with you. And I think that gives you more zest for life for it because of it. So, and she doesn't, she said that sometimes you feel guilty, and she wants you to let that go. Because, hold on, just making me cry. Just a second.
Aww.
Yeah, hold on. She wants you to know that she doesn't want you to feel guilty, because everything that you do, she loves.
And she said, yes, she said, yes, the yellow roses, and I know that helped. Thank you so much, Dawn, for being on tonight. You were amazing. Aww.
Thank you.
Dry those tears. Have a good night, Dawn, and thank you so very much. And thank you to everyone on SOR, Facebook, Spreaker, Twitter, and wherever else you may be listening in the universe. I had a wonderful time, And it was my pleasure, literally and figuratively. I can't wait to do it all again next Sunday on Spaced Out Sundays here on spacedoutradio.com. Until next time, nighty-night, love and light to all my space cases, and don't forget, we are all in this together. Together we can make the world a little better, and together, my friends, we own the night. You guys have a good evening and an even better tomorrow. Rock that week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Good night, guys.